It was large, bulbous, weirdly veined and striated, twice the size of a normal man's head, with triangular eyes, triangular nose, grinning mouth studded with fanged teeth. Somehow, he'd managed to force the thing over his head. Hadley couldn't quite see how. "How ingenious, Anton. Did you carve it yourself?" This was the sort of inane question you asked Anton Kruppe. For you had to say something, to alleviate the strain of the man's aggressive doggy eagerness to please, to impress, to make you laugh. Hadley recalled the previous time Anton had dropped by the house to see her, which had been the first time, the previous week, the forced and protracted conversation between them when Anton hadn't seemed to know how to depart, after Hadley had served him coffee and little sandwiches made of multigrain bread, his lurching over her, his spasm of a handshake, and his clumsy wet kiss on her cheek that had seemed to sting her and to thrill her, like the brush of a bat's wings. "Yes, ma'am. You think you will buy?" "That depends, Anton. How much?" "For you, ma'am, no charge." This forced joke. How long would it be kept up, Hadley wondered in exasperation. In middle school, boys like Anton Kruppe were snubbed by their classmates. Ha ha, very funny. But once you were an adult, how could you discourage such humor without being rude? Anton was considerably younger than Hadley, as much as 10 or 12 years, though looking older than his age, as Hadley looked younger than her age. He'd been born in what was now called Bosnia, brought to the United States by a surviving grandparent. He'd gone to American schools, including MIT, yet had not become convincingly American in all those years. Trying too hard, Hadley thought, the sign of the foreign-born. In a kind of anxious triumph, sensing his hostess's exasperation yet determined not to acknowledge it, Anton swung the lurid pumpkin head down from his shoulders in his chafed-looking, big-knuckled hands. Now Hadley could see that the pumpkin wasn't whole, but only 2/3 of a shell. It had been gutted and carved and its back part cut away. The back of what would be, in a human skull, the cranium. So the uncanny pumpkin head was only a kind of pumpkin mask set on Anton's shoulders and held in place by a hand. Yet so lifelike, as the scarecrow figure lurched up the walk in her direction, the face had appeared alive. Could have sworn the eye sockets had glared merrily at her. "Is good? Is surprise? Happy Halloween, is right?" Was it Halloween? Hadley was sure it was not. October 31st wasn't for another several days. "Is for you, Hadley, to sit here." Flush-faced now and smiling in his shyly aggressive manner that was a plea for her, the rich American woman, to laugh at him and with him, to laugh in the spontaneous way in which Americans laughed together, mysteriously bonded in their crude American humor. On his angular face and in his stiff, wiry hair that receded sharply from his forehead were bits of pumpkin flesh and seeds at which Anton wiped surreptitiously, like a boy whose nose is running, wiping at his nose. Hadley thought, if he kisses me, he will smell of pumpkin. Her husband had died and abandoned her. Now, other men would drop by the house. Anton presented Hadley with the misshapen pumpkin. The damn thing must have weighed 15 pounds. Almost it slipped from her hands. Hadley thought, it would have served Anton Kruppe right if she dropped the pumpkin and it smashed on the brick. No doubt he'd have offered to clean it up then. "Anton, thank you. This is very—" Their hands brushed together. Anton was standing close beside her. He was several inches taller than Hadley, though his posture was slouched, his back prematurely rounded. Perhaps there was something wrong with his spine. And he breathed quickly, audibly, as if he'd been running, as if he were about to declare something, then thought better of it. At the Organic Food and Gardening Co-op, where Hadley had once shopped frequently, when she'd prepared elaborate meals for herself and her husband, and now only shopped from time to time, tall, lanky Anton Kruppe had appeared perhaps a year ago. He'd always been alert and attentive to her. The co-op manager addressed her as Mrs. Shell.